Ford Transit Custom and Ford Tourneo Custom are being electrified, and we'll drive the new PHEV here with the Tourneo Custom. In our review, let's go. For a commercial vehicle, this looks great. Seriously, I think this one here, the Ford Transit Custom or the Ford Tourneo Custom, is the best looking commercial vehicle in this segment. It just looks sporty. With this front fishbowl grille and then the daytime running lights. Headlamps, by the way, start with halogen base, then optional halogen plus those nice daytime running lights, and optional, those ones here, by xenon plus daytime running lights. So this is definitely quite fancy and not exactly a Thomas blue color, but it comes close in this direction. So if I would buy a commercial vehicle in this segment, just visually wise on the exterior, I would probably pick it exactly as it is here right now. What's your take on that? You can also get a Transit Custom with 5.34 m or 210 inches in length. That's 3.30 m in wheelbase or 130 inches. But this one here you can see is the short version, 4.97 m or 196 inches in length, or wheelbase 2.93 m or 115 inches. So, and thing is, the PHEV we have here today is also only available with the short wheelbase and the short length. And you can see this one here is the Tourneo Custom version. We can see it here that we have all in glass, so we have some windows for the passengers. Again, Transit Custom, Volkswagen would be all shut in here. The Combi is a mixed, you can also get it with windows. And this one in here, the Tourneo Custom, all the way with windows. And the naming, by the way, can also differ from market to market. So yeah, it's something a little bit complicated to see all the different versions. Well, even in the rear, the Ford designers found, something nice here with those vertical taillights right there. Actually quite nice still from the rear, and also how they integrated the window right there. So again, you think you cannot really design a commercial vehicle, but obviously it is possible. And here the only sign that this one here is the PHEV has a small plug-in hybrid badge right there. Other than that, it just looks very normal. As for engines, standard in Europe for the Transit Custom range and also for the Tourneo would be a 2-liter turbo diesel with different horsepower specs up to a 170 horsepower. In the US, for the Transit, you can also get a V6 diesel and also a stronger petrol engine. But here today we have the new PHEV, which has an electric motor right in the front, but also a combustion engine as a generator. This one here is a 1-liter turbo petrol engine, and it is not directly powering the front wheels, but serving as a generator. Then again, that you can still drive electric. Yeah, how does that make sense? We know that, for example, from the Honda CR-V as well, the Honda hybrid technology. So the generator is being used, not directly powering the wheels, because then the combustion engine can run in a certain RPM spectrum and not jump too much up and down, and therefore it's a little bit more efficient. Steering wheel looks like in a Ford passenger vehicle. different controls also, left side for example, and for the cruise control, which is just a normal one here sadly in the PHEV. And then you also have some cup holders already starting right there, so there's really thought of a lot of storage. That's quite cool. The seats look actually quite comfortable here, in this case the animal skin setup, but you can also get for the for the whole range, Transit Custom and also Tourneo Custom, you can get black fabric seats or also black leatherette seats, for example, if you want a more animal friendly solution. Those ones are also electric with the controls. So yeah, again, this will be higher in the price, but then again, this is also probably the most fancy version you can find. And as PHEV, yeah, it will be actually quite expensive as well. So when we talk about prices, a normal, Transit or Tourneo, they're about 30,000 in Germany, for example, as the entry. About 5,000 euros difference, so the Transit Custom will be a little bit less expensive than 30, and this one a little bit more than 30. 5,000 euros difference then. When you get it as a PHEV, you have to pay 20k more. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's for, the market start. So the first customers will more be like, they really want to do that, not for like, economical reasons. But we'll also talk more about that later once more. First of all, back to the interior now with the seating position, pretty much upright. And you can also change the steering wheel, but be aware there are some sharp edges here below that in between. So I'm happy to have the gloves here on at the moment. So then also not only in height, but also in reach. That's cool and quite often very rare in the segment. So I'm happy to be able to do that. And it's good in upright seating position. You can even put the seat here higher, just electric. That's also very comfortable. So depending on your size, you can really put it higher. So pretty nice to be able to do that, and a good overview all around. Whether it's 86 or 61, and if I put the seat in lowest position, you can see I have ample of headroom left. And what's also quite fancy is that you have already some storage here, right there, but also some for your glasses up right there. Hard to film, but there you can put, for example, some sunglasses or whatever. Now the interior overview. Of course, the segment is rather about being functional, but since this one is rather a luxury version, we also have some soft touch here at the top dashboard. And of course, this nice color contrast between black and bright. When we start at the left side, the steering wheel can be, you have those controls here for the small digital screen. On the left side for the cruise control. Again, adaptive cruise control sadly not available for the PHEV, but that's more packaging reason, has no technology reason or something. And when we take a look at those instruments, left side analog, you can see where you can charge the battery in the moment and when it gives actually power. On the right side, there's the normal speedometer. And then in the middle section, we have this optional 8-inch Sync 3 system. Mainly use it for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connection. Then it looks like this. It's a nice integration, definitely. And the sound is actually quite decent. It sounds really good because there's such a big resonance room here in this vehicle. That's maybe the reason for that. So it's almost sound surround-like. So that was quite amazing. You can also go back to this Ford system. And yeah, I can use it for some basic functions. But no matter if you have one with GPS or not, the thing is, it always goes back to your maps here for the smartphone, which is probably a good decision because the car internal GPS is also not that good. So if you deplug it, you can also access it right here. That's the normal GPS, then you can pinch and zoom. That's possible actually. But the one from, that is supplied with your smartphone will actually be better. Volume control is still here manual, you've seen it, but I'm not sure how long lasting is this rubber around there. Climate unit is still manual, but then again, a little bit blocked by this automatic shifting lever. Let's now check out the side interior. Well, of course, we start with the door closing sound of the sliding door. First of all, slide open, and now. It sounds quite solid, doesn't it? So, welcome, and you can get it actually on both sides, those sliding doors. That's actually quite cool. Then again, this is here the opposite seat setup, so you can face each other with 6 single seats. Actually quite fancy looking. You can, of course, also get more animal-friendly surface materials for the rear. Although the style in the Bright is actually quite nice. Also Isofix at those outer seats, and the inner seats you can flip each, and then for example you can join us for some eggplant and yellow pepper sandwiches. As for that, and of course some cup holders right there, so you can do that with the middle seats each, so you can do the same with the middle seat in the rear actually. And we also have a spot for the charging cable right there, by the way, but you can also put it in the trunk, but not in a frunk here. So that's the thing. And now let's take a test seat right there. Of course, it's an easy entry with this step right there, and it's really cozy. You have this upright seating position with 186 or 6 with 1. Here, enough headroom left. It's really easy to move around. The middle seat is actually now almost as comfortable. Is it maybe a little bit different? I mean, they look the same, but the outer one actually feels a little bit softer. I don't know. But it will be better anyway with the fabric surface than they will be softer in general. To open the rear hatch, it's just right under the rear view camera. By the way, yeah, it offers rear view camera, so modern assistance systems, as well as a blind spot monitor and also autonomous emergency brake. And for the car in general, you can also get adaptive cruise control, but not for the PHEV, strangely, for no apparent reason. Then you can see here some measurements, and this one here is about 1.20 meters in width, and here, about 55 centimeters in length left, and the total height here is more than 1.20 meters. You can see here, almost 130 meters in height. So still comes quite handy. You can see here, this one, the Tourneo with the passenger setup, but you can still store some decent luggage in the rear. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Ford Tourneo, or it could also be the Transit Custom, here then the Tourneo Custom. So it's just about what's on the interior. They will drive approximately the same, also because this one here is the short wheelbase version. So, and we can pick different driving modes, and I start in the EV Now mode, so we really know that we are driving electric. And the charge here is about 3/4 something, so we have about 20 kilometers of pure electric range left, and it's especially astonishing. I mean, we know electric cars, meanwhile, definitely, of course, but driving with the Transporter, with the commercial vehicle, is something different, because you even more expect like a rattling diesel sound, some old school Transporter feeling, like more rough commercial vehicle style. And then you start here, all silent, and it's just cool. Immediately this car here feels like 5 years younger or newer, and it's just more relaxing to drive. And you can also have the recuperation. Either when I lift the throttle right now, there is, like a slight recuperation. And when I'm on the brakes, then there's also more recuperation. And only when the real brakes are being needed, they are being applied. And another choice would be to put this one here to the L mode. And, like low. It would be comparable to using the engine brake in a combustion engine car, and then when I lift the throttle now, we have more recuperation, and this really feels like like a real braking process. And you can use more recuperation, especially if you go downhill for a longer time, for example. And I mean, this car still has some power when we do like 40 kilometers to 70 kilometers. Plop, that's it. So you see, I mean, it's not an explosive acceleration, but it's also not really needed for this Transporter segment. And now I just lift my throttle, and I can more have this one pedal feeling or one pedal driving, as we know from other EVs, when I'm in this L mode. Which one is the more suitable for you? You have to find out. In this way here, I can really rather steer the car or control the car with one pedal. And with the other one, you use more rolling. It feels a little bit more, like when you roll in the car, like with the higher gear inside with the ICE car. And here, when you just put in a lower gear and use the engine brake. We can say when we are on this way to making those transporters all electric, I think it's definitely the right way, because it makes the air in the cities cleaner, and it's also definitely just a cooler ride. Yeah, unless the range extender gets on, and this generator. Yeah, a little bit weird, definitely, but also engineers thought about the system and had their reasons definitely to go for this. There is no official energy consumption meter, by the way, here. So the only thing we can see here is the liter consumption on 1 kilometers. And this is then, of course, mixed again with the electric drive. And so it says at the moment 2.6 liters on 1 kilometers. So hard really to measure that unless we can, we can try to reset those values and then see what it says when we are depleted on the battery, on the battery electric range now, and just drive on that and see, what the car says now. Of course, it takes a while to calculate that. Let's see how that one plays out. Yeah, and now it says about 12 liters on 100 kilometers, and that's a little bit more realistic. Thinking about we were shuttled in a diesel vehicle earlier of a transit, and that one was having like a fuel economy of about 8 to 9 liters diesel on 100 kilometers. But then again, what's happening here, you really would have to test it on a very, very long scale, because as soon as I leave the throttle a little bit and do some recuperation, and then have like electric moments again, then the fuel economy is getting better once again. So that's really interesting. So cannot say what's like really reliable, but about 10 liters for a petrol engine for this vehicle shouldn't be too unrealistic. So again, this is more about where do you have the chance to recharge it once again. Here we are. So now we're coming to our conclusion for today with the Ford Tourneo Custom, and of course the same will also count for the Ford Transit Custom PHEV. Well, first of all, as for the exterior, both the Transit and the Tourneo, they look actually quite fancy in this segment, and maybe that's also one of the reasons why they're so successful worldwide, next of course to a quite good price-performance ratio. Then on the interior, of course you cannot expect the highest build quality, but it's actually quite functional, and especially, all the storage space you have is quite good. Then driving-wise, it's a very easy drive, light from the steering wheel, actually quite good overview. And, there are different engines available worldwide, and this new PHEV makes it really interesting, because we can generally say to electrify this commercial segment is actually quite cool, because it makes the car easier, let's say, accessible, not price-wise, but in a driving sense. They are easier to drive, more comfortable to drive, more silent to drive. It makes it more normal, the whole experience. Those commercial vehicles, they have moved towards or closer to the normal cars more and more over the past years, and this electrification process even boosts that development. And I think that's actually something quite cool. So I really enjoyed driving in this one here all electric today, and it makes a lot of sense, especially for those inner city deliveries, be it some cargo or persons. Yeah, then again, this concept here, the range extender is somewhat, on the one hand, a nice compromise, because you still have a higher range, although you're not getting all EV yet. So this could be one solution. The e-Vito we've already been testing by Mercedes, this is all electric, has a higher all electric range, but then again not the range that this one is offering in total. So you have to think about what's better than for you. Of course, on the long run, it should make more sense to put just a bigger battery in the lower floor, because you have a lot of space for that here in this commercial segment, and then have the all-electric range and, make it also, just easier just to charge, and then that's it. Here, running both systems at the same time is, of course, always somewhat a compromise, but I can really say that driving it all-electric was really a lot of fun. The big problem with this car is at the moment that the extra price here, about 20k more for the PHEV version, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Yes, there are some governmental benefits and you get some taxation benefits, but still you want to have, this system. You can even out the cost, maybe driving it over time, or also as for, lower maintenance and so on. But then you should really be able to recharge it quite frequently and, have all the benefits of that then. So far, we only have to hope that Ford also goes down with the price difference as for that respect. Of course, I would like to discuss this topic here with you, general about the Ford Transit and the Ford Tourneo. If you are a Transit or Tourneo customer, then please give us your report. What's your experience? Which engine you are driving? It's always good to have some customer feedback in the comments here. And also what you think about electrification of this commercial vehicle segment. Looking forward to your comments, guys. And please also tune in next time, or also to other relevant episodes, for example, from the Volkswagen Transporter or the Mercedes Vito. We'll link a few down in the video description, also in the pinned comment. See you there, and see you next time.